I'm Brian Durlam with Cargill, and I'm happy to say that I think this has exceeded everyone on the steering team's expectations. I think I'm really pleased with how things have turned out, and I think I would like to start with asking everyone to give everyone here a round of applause just for your participation. But I will say that a lot of folks came here over time with a bit of trepidation, not quite knowing what to expect, not knowing how it was going to turn out, a little cautious, getting this many people in a room with so many differing points of view. You know, what to expect, what's going to be talked about, what are people going to agree to? Will the cake be baked before I get here? And we had a lot of conversations, a lot of work on the steering team, just because there were a lot of nervousness that went into the room, went into putting this together. And that nervousness started back in June, July, August, September, October, continuing up until the early days of the conference. But it's fair to say that it turned out really well. And I'm really pleased, again, I've said that already, with how things turned out and the amount of sharing, the amount of relationship building that went on was just fabulous. But I'd like to point out to bullet number 4 there. And that's what I'd like to tell everyone, is to challenge participants to take what they have learned at this conference to develop on-the-ground programs that enhance sustainable beef and to utilize the relationships built at this conference to bring these projects to life. We've come here, we've built relationships. But myself I have an office in Washington, D.C. That's where I work. And I don't know everything there is to know about what goes on the ground. Nor do we here on the steering team. You folks in the field do. And when you go back home, you're going to have ideas to implement. I'd like to give a shout out to one of my colleagues at Cargill, Scott Harder. He's sitting in the back of the room. Scott Harder has put in place projects in all our North American beef plants that capture biogas, to where 1/3 of our energy in our beef plants, 20% of our energy use is biogas. I didn't come up with that idea. Scott and his coworkers at Cargill did. And that's an example of sustainability. You're going to go back to your farm or your ranch or your place of business, and you're going to come up with an idea. It might be just something in the back of your mind, and you might have an idea, but you don't know what to do with it. Hopefully now you've got someone to call. You've built a relationship. You know who to pick up the phone, who to call, and if they don't know the answer, I bet they met someone here that does. And that's a lot about what this conference was about, how to build relationships so that when you come up with an idea, you know who to call, so that when you have an idea, you have a project, you figure out how to implement it, how to put it on the ground so that you can do exactly what the gentlemen on the steering team have talked about, so that we can build that consumer confidence that we know, that the consumer confidence that's so important, so that when a consumer has a choice to buy a product, they buy beef because they have confidence in it, because it's sustainable, it's safe, and it's a product that they want to buy to feed their family, to feed their children, because they know it's safe, they know it's sustainable, and they have confidence in it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your participation, and thank you for making this a wonderful conference.
I guess I'm last. I want to say thank you so much for these organizations who have stepped forward to make this happen. It couldn't have happened without them. You know, Brian mentioned about getting nurses starting about June. Trust me, it started long before that with me and my people. So, you know, Jessica Drosiagian and I had a conversation about a year ago, and came up with this idea, and it's an audacious goal to get this variety of people from around the world, across the entire beef supply chain together in one place. Very audacious. But we said we're going to do it, and thanks to you, it's come about. And I was sitting here wondering, how in the world did we pull this off? And it came down, at least to me, to 2 things. Number 1, everybody in this room, I feel, is committed to doing the right thing. And that is a great compliment to all of you in this room. And number 2, we share a love for the land and the life that it supports. Those are common grounds that we have, that we can take what has happened in the last 2 days and move forward in the ways that we've discussed today. So this morning, this group of people, we were sitting around the table, and we decided on these 4 points that we would go forward with, and is what we have stamped our claim on as the way forward, realizing that there's many, many other things. And I want to commit, WWF is absolutely committed to these things. And in fact, we realize that there are many people not in this room. We commit to continue to act where appropriate in this convener role, to continue to bring others into the fold, others to the room, to the table, to continue the dialogue. And not only from this global perspective, but also at the regional level. Across the various regions, the small stakeholders, large stakeholders, to make this happen, we are absolutely committed to that and honored that we've been able to start that process today. We've committed to very specific things. We told you that the presentations and the documents and materials will be available. That will be done very quickly. www.sustainablelivestock.com or .org or .net. Either one, all of those will work. We will have this material posted on there. We will commit to, within 30 days, listing at that site the next steps and even identifying where these regional programs and the next steps will take place as a proposal of a way forward, and asking for comments and providing a means and mechanism for that to happen at that website, and also to start to build this virtual network that we talked about in partnership with hopefully all of you in this room, to continue this dialogue and this way forward. This is a great momentum that has been created here in the last couple days. We are absolutely committed to continuing that, as every one of these steering committee members are. And we realize that, that this won't happen without all of your help and without others stepping forward. This is just a starting point, but we're excited that we're here. We're excited for the future. So thank you very much. All right, so thank you very much, steering committee members. There's definitely some thank yous to take place. Something like this doesn't happen without a lot of behind-the-scenes help. So first, I want to thank Inverness, great venue. Their staff has done an absolutely fantastic job. Julie Finn and her staff, please, let's give them a round of applause. And then we had some event planners, and here they are from RMS's staff. Absolutely seamless from an event planning standpoint. We'd like to thank RMS staff as well as the staff of Inverness that's here. Fantastic job. Really appreciate that. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. And then, of course, we want to congratulate and thank the sponsors who have made this happen, and a long list, but mostly we want to thank you for taking the time, the effort, traveling long distances to be here. And this is such a historic event. We thought it would be appropriate to capture it with a photograph. And so we're going to do that immediately following this. We're going to do it in this lobby area down here. So please, as soon as we're done here, go to the lobby area. We have photographer Garth right here who will get us all set up and everything. And then we'll take a group photo. And then if we need to take some individual photos and things, group photos, absolutely we'll do that. One last thing, tomorrow there's going to be an industry tour. And those of you who are involved with that, have signed up with that, please go to the registration desk and get information relative to departure time of the bus, and we're going to have a couple buses. And if there's others who are interested, I think we might have a couple spots available, but at the registration desk is where you'd find out about availability as well. There's one other person that I want to thank, actually a couple others. There's a lot of people who've put a lot of time, effort into this. The facilitation staff, CBI, Consensus Building Institute, Merrick, Pat, and their staff, fantastic job. Thank you very much. Matt with Unison Resources, great job, Matt. Thank you very much. There's a lot of staff at WWF that made this happen, but at the tip of that spear was Alex Bjork, who's done an absolutely fantastic job. Thanks, Alex. So with that, thank you very much for being here. We're honored with your presence. We appreciate your engagement. Let's go take a picture.